BNI Melbourne Central. He is also a skilled trainer of referral-based marketing, an engaged public speaker, as well as a certified laughter yoga instructor and a certified BreatheWorks master. Braith started in BNI as a member in 2009, and he was so impressed with the BNI system and the results he got that he became a BNI director to share his knowledge. Eventually, he bought the Melbourne Central region. His enthusiasm and skill for referral-based marketing assist his members to maximize their success in BNI. Over the past few years, Braith has helped grow his members' revenue from referrals. Last year, BNI members across Australia averaged 64,000 in closed business. In Braith's region, they averaged 121,000 and passed over $64 million in business. For this and other reasons, he's the #1 franchisee in Australia. When he's not working on BNI, Braith can be found doing yoga, hiking in Australia and around the world, or enjoying coffee and conversation with members and friends in cafes around town. And of course, laughing at every opportunity. So over to you, Braith. Looking forward to laughing.
Wow, wonderful. Well, today is actually not a laughter yoga session, so we'll have to come back for that one. So I've just popped up my screen there. Can everyone see my screen? I can't see what you can see. Excellent. Thank you. I've only done this 100 times. You'd think I'd know by now. So welcome, members and guests. It's exciting to have you here on this wonderful Visitors Day. And really, this is all about you today, visitors. We've really brought you in here for a reason. The reason we brought you in here is that the person that invited you thinks that you're really good at what you do. And because you're really good at what you do, they think you might make a potentially referable client in this chapter. So they're very exclusive in this chapter, as are all BNI chapters, and they only want the right sort of people in this room. So they are going to invite you to apply, and they are going to invite you to become part of this chapter. It's not a slam dunk. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what it takes to be successful in a chapter like this. So we have a really clear mission in BNI. We've been doing it for 36 years. We've had 36 years of non-stop growth in BNI. And we've done this because we really know how to help members generate more business for themselves and for those around them. So we know that the mission is to increase business through a structured, positive, and professional referral marketing program that enables people to build long-term, meaningful relationships with quality business professionals. Now that's great, but what does that actually look like? Well, there are 4 things that we know that will get you success in BNI. Now, here's a spoiler alert. Nobody becomes a member of BNI to become a great member of BNI. People join BNI because they want to grow their business. And that should be the reason that you want to apply to become part of this group, because you want to grow your business. And if you want to do that, these are the 4 things that we know that will help you to do that. The first thing is accountability through quality. So quality in any business only happens when you're accountable. Now, I'm an entrepreneur, so I don't like being told what to do. I didn't want to work for somebody else, so I work for myself. And the challenge with that sometimes is we just don't want to be held accountable to other people. But I've learned over the years that being accountable to yourself and other people is the fastest way to generate results in your business. You will be friends with people in the chapter if you become a member of this chapter. The challenge in BNI is the friends are great, but friends are also challenging. And we know that in a great BNI chapter, the friends will hold each other accountable because they know if you're not accountable to yourself and the people around you, you're not going to get the result that you've joined for. The second thing is we know that chapters need to grow. Now, a lot of people say, oh, BNI just wants chapters to grow because they want to make more money. The reality is it's you, the members, that make the money when the chapters grow. So just have a look at this graph here. It's really interesting to see that at 16 people in a chapter, we don't have chapters of 16, we want them to be larger. There are 256 connections between everybody in the chapter. That's a reasonable amount of people, but you double that to 32 members in a chapter, and instantly you have 1,024 connections. That's nearly 4 times, that's 4 times the connections. Now that's first connections. And here's the thing, joining BNI is not about doing business with people in the room. It's accessing the people that who are in the room's network. It's that network that is the power of BNI. And you can see as chapters grow, they get more referrals and significantly more business. This is US dollars, and this is on average. So we know that a large chapter does significantly more per member than smaller chapters, which is why this chapter is wanting to grow, and they've invited you to become part of their growth. The only way to be successful in BNI is to tell stories. And we want you to tell stories about what it is that you do that makes you successful. Tell us how you work with clients. Tell us how you help those clients get the result that they want. A story is a fact wrapped in an emotion that compels us to take action, and it transforms us in some way. And we teach our members how to tell those stories to get results. So here's the interesting bit. If you do this right, your fellow BNI members will be your best customer. How do you treat your best customer? Do you turn up on time? Do you turn up regularly? Do you do and say the things that you've committed to do and say? Do you show up as your best version of yourself? Do you treat your best customer in a way that is going to change your relationship for the long term? Your best customer will be there in the good times and in the bad times. So having your best customer, turning up to your best customer absolutely every single week means that your best customer is going to continually refer and generate work for you. Now, the best time to build your network was 5 years ago. And in the last year, we've seen an amazing change in the world. And if you had that network, a strong network 5 years ago, today you would be sitting in a really strong position. So I know that there are a lot of people that have really suffered throughout the last 12 months. But I also know that there are people who have done amazingly well. And I know that some people found it very difficult. When I look at the characteristics of the people who have done amazingly well, there are some businesses that traditionally you may think would have suffered during the last 12 months. But some of those businesses have thrived. And I know that it's the simple things that people are doing that are making the difference. And those people who have a network already around them are the ones that have really thrived and survived. Add a little bit of positive mindset and expectation, and those people have set themselves up to be really successful. Now, I'm old enough to have been around for 2 recessions before. So I remember what happened in the last 2 recessions, and exactly the same thing is going to happen after this recession. Next year and the year after, we will see amazing business growth. I promise you this, it will happen. Some people will be better placed to get results out of that business growth. Some of you will have the best year ever in 2021. And some of you will have it in 2022. But many people will not have a great year next year. And many people will have a worse year. And some people won't even be around the year after. The new normal is not like the old normal. If you were doing stuff today the same as you were doing this time last year, you won't be around in 2021. I can guarantee you that. And your business won't survive. So I want to invite you to think about what are you going to do differently from here on in to take advantage of the way the world is going to change. The reality is it's not BHP, it's not Coles, it's not the banks, it's you and I, the small businesses of Australia, that will make a difference in our economy. I want your businesses firing. I want 2021 to be a great year because we've just borrowed a whole lot of money and we have to pay it back. And we don't want our kids and grandkids to have this massive debt. And I also know that having this massive debt can go away in a couple of years. It'll go away because the economy will grow. In fact, today, our economy is bigger than it was only 4 years ago. The reality is in 3 years' time, it'll be massive and the opportunities for you will be unbelievable. You don't even know what's going to happen to you. So if you haven't got a network, I invite you to be part of this network because the people here will help get you through the next 2, 3, 4 years. BNI is not a quick fix. You're not going to join today and get a massive amount of business tomorrow. You might get some referrals tomorrow, but the reality is this is a long process to build long-term relationships because quality doesn't happen overnight. And we've seen this for the last 36 years in BNI, that when people invest in the network around them, that network will invest back into them. We have a saying in BNI, it's the philosophy of BNI, it's called givers gain. And I don't know if any of you have ever done any volunteer work in your life, but I've done a lot of that. And when you volunteer, the more you give, the more you seem to get back. It seems to be this inexhaustible well of return. And it's the same in this chapter. The more you give to the people in this chapter as a member, the more you will get back. There is unlimited amount of business for all of us. There is unlimited amount of referrals for you. And I know that if you make a commitment to be part of this chapter and to change your mindset so that you know that 2021 and 2022 will be your best years yet, you will help me and the rest of Australia to pay back the massive amount of money that our government has just borrowed. And you can go to sleep at night knowing that you have done your bit to help Australia. So I welcome you to apply to this chapter, and I hope we get to welcome you as a member in the very near future. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you. Let's come off mute and give Braith a round of applause for his nice, very motivating speech there around and 2021. So thanks so much for that. We really look forward to 2021 being, you know, a very positive year ahead, and one in which we can all, as you said there, pay our debts and pay the debts back. So that would be nice, wouldn't it? Nice place to end up as well. Braith, we always end with a quote. I don't know if you have one, but I have one I prepared earlier just in case.
Well, I do. I have a really fantastic quote. I use it quite a lot. So some of you may have heard it before, but I haven't used it since COVID. And I think it's more apt now than ever. And it really has a lot to do with the mindset. And the quote that I love is, if you think you can or you think you can't, you are absolutely right. And now more than ever, I think that's very, very apt.
It is true. Thank you so much for that. So a really nice one. So let's think we can and continue on. Thank you very much.